penalties for it anymore.
Real sad.
Yeah.
Fine.
Uh-oh.
Hello, friends. Captions. Knew I forgot something.
Goodbye,
The
sir. It
classic.
was very nice to have you here for a few moments.
Damn.
Bye.
In my homebrew campaign, the players willingly took exhaustion to push
Yeah.
exploring in the woods, and then were surprised when it went very poorly.
Yep.
They just got attacked by
Didn't you say
spiders.
they took 2 levels, right?
Yeah, they took 2.
Yeah, dude,
Two levels of
it's
exhaustion?
disadvantage
Yeah,
of
why
all
don't we just
direct
keep
attacks
shooting
and your
yourself?
speed is halved.
Oh, yeah, the checklist, I remember.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, after
Oh
the
my
first
god, that
one-
gets bad real quick.
Yes. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, then they all failed their survival check and they were lost too.
Lost tired and
Like,
going
what are you
crazy.
guys doing?
We should push on with exploring.
Yeah.
And we're lost. I'm tired.
Yeah, let's get 2 more
And
hours
slow
a day.
down. It's great. Our traveling
no.
pace cut in half. I'm very glad we're doing this.
Whose idea was this?
There was no dissent. One person said keep going and everyone said that sounds good. I was just like, okay.
You got it.
Anyway, we're Not Great RPG, and we are here once again for the Lost Kings of Adoris, one of our 3 campaigns that we definitely play every week.
Consistency is our thing.
Consistently
We have
3
to
days
go.
a week.
We've had at least 2 campaigns a week.
Yeah, we've been getting
for a
better.
bit
Yeah.
now.
We're,
Since
we're
the
getting
snow
close.
stopped,
We're getting there.
we're at least 2.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Medusa
It
said.
starts.
Cat.
I found a cat toy in the wall. You're
But yeah, we're going to go around the table real quick,
At the
introduce
wall.
ourselves, and then I will read the recap from last week, and we will pop into the action where we left off.
Very good. I'm John, and I play Marcus.
I'm Sarah, and I play Dandelion.
I'm Paul, and I play Rin.
I'm Autumn, and I played Twig.
I'm Mike and I play Mr. Pigeon.
I'm not Lawrence. And tonight I rolled a 69 on my first percentage die. And that means it's going to be nice. Also, I play Shay.
And I am Don, the DM of this campaign. Let me pop up the recap here. Last week, the episode What Lies Within, our party continues their fight with the bandit captain and his men. The latter charges forward around the corner towards the nearest target, being Twig. He swings his great axe, strikes Twig, slams her into the nearby wall, spins towards Shay, striking him. Uses the momentum of his movement to carry him 5 feet towards Marcus, but the tip of his axe catches on
I
the wall.
prefer 5 feet.
5 feet towards Marcus.
How many Pete's is that?
I mean,
It's 5
it's
Pete's.
Pete for us. It's Pete for Twig.
That's true. That's actually correct. Carries him 5 feet towards Marcus, but the tip of his axe catches on the wall and he drops it behind him. Mr. Pigeon makes a duplicate, distracting one of the other men as Twig and Shay collectively stab another multiple times, each dipping back into the shadowy corners of the room as they do. The party each takes a hit at the captain, Rin stabbing him in the spots where his armor is missing with a shadowy spectral blade, before Marcus moves behind him and crushes his spine, his body falling at Rin's feet. The smaller man attempts to stab Marcus and Mr. Pigeon with a poison-coated dagger, but they shrug this off. Murdoch, taking inspiration from Marcus, turns his great axe sideways and slams the smaller man into the ground like an accordion. Dandelion shoots a large blast of Eldritch energy down the nearby hallway, striking one of the other men straight in the chest, knocking his lifeless body tumbling backwards. Shay relieves the captain of his keys, his coins, and his head as the party moves down the hallway towards the archers in the room behind. Rin tells them to surrender, and they respond, "Live for my land, die for my land." Dandelion creeps into the back room invisible and throws 2 mugs up the stairs behind one of the archers, distracting him. The party moves into position. Mark is moving into the room and smashing his short sword that he had recently picked up into the one archer, instantly killing him because he's a god with a short sword, apparently.
I stabbed him. Right in the heart.
Right in the heart. Just dead. Ren and Dandelion swiftly dispatch the other archer. You guys investigate the large figure at the back of the room locked in a cage. Ren indicates to the party that this is a troll, though he has never seen one in person. Marcus recalls the trolls were used previously in the wars as chained warriors from the armies that came over the Bellowing Peaks mountain range, and he surmises that this could perhaps be a friend, or at least would not bring them harm. You guys see him huddled out of the light, and you dim the torch. The troll thanks you in broken common and introduces himself as Rog, mostly answering their questions and not speaking otherwise. Marcus feeds him as he appears malnourished. They tell him they'll be back shortly to help him as Mr. Pigeon places a slightly bulbous balloon animal troll into the cage. You guys move into the next room. Shay unlocks the door. You find a thin hallway being used as a storage room. You move further into the next room and find a larger space with ores and gems in a mixed state of being processed, some mining equipment and other things. Among these items in this box is a bag of holding, a slightly creepy looking doll that says, "Help me!" in a high-pitched voice when it's picked up. The party all collectively hate the doll and attempt to speak to it, but it does not respond. Rin shakes it, trying to get it to answer, and it says, "Release me!" He drops it, and as it hits the ground, it yells, "Pick me up!" He does so and asks how he can release it, but it does not respond. He pokes it, and it yells, "Don't do that!" The party concludes that it's either a toy or it is just the worst, so they shove it into the bag of holding alongside the other items. You guys split the 600 gold that you find. You proceed into the next room and find a large cage full of people and another door. Marcus walks up and recognizes a younger man named Peyton that had been taken 2 years ago during one of the bandit raids. He is shocked to see Marcus and tells him that Matthias is also here, along with many of his people from their home. Shay unlocks the cage and Marcus runs over to Matthias and says, "Shantea has clearly blessed us this day if you are here." Marcus asks if all the people are here, and Matthias says he believes some of them escaped into the night to places unknown as the golden fields burned brighter than ever before being snuffed out forever. Marcus tells him they will speak more on it later, and Matthias agrees before telling him that he is sorry for what happened and that they took the effigy. Marcus says, as he lived, though was confused why they would have taken an effigy of prayer. Matthias tells him that he does not know and has not seen it here. You guys use the strange gelatinous beads that you found in order to feed and nourish the prisoners. You
Strange.
you describe them as strange. I'm telling you what they are.
We used them, huh?
Not fed them.
That's fair. You guys release Rob from his cage. He thanks you. Marcus asks about his home, and he tells him it's in a nearby forest, and his home is called Shine Water, before correcting himself to Shine River, struggling with the broken common. Marcus tells him should he ever find more of his people, send them there. Shay, Twig, Mr. Pigeon, and Dandelion head towards the front of the mountain to get Rog over the wall and fetch Colbane as Marcus tends to his people, and Rin heads into the mine with Matthias to see the strange room that he told them about that they were never to go in. Shay imitates the voice of the captain as the guard runs towards him, immediately being killed by Shay. Dandelion runs through the town invisible to the inn to fetch Colbane. She hands him a letter, still invisible, asking him to come hunt with Murdoch once more, and a feather from a bird they had hunted together. Colbane grabs his things and Dandelion shoves him through the town towards the mountain. You guys head back inside and meet up with the others, Rin having just returned from the strange room within the mine, containing a large stone door with strange carvings on it. And that is where we are picking up this week. You guys are in the prison chambers with everybody having just reconvened from retrieving Colbane and from looking at this strange room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You had previously said at the episode's end that you didn't know what was going on in the room, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Colbane looks over to all of you guys. Appears there's more to all of you than meets the eye.
Did you really just...
Got it.
It's subtle.
We'll get Optimus Prime in there somehow.
Oh my goodness.
Be at the gambling
Yes.
Alright.
Optimus
I'll set a reminder.
Why is it
Oh my God! Are you giving yourself an alarm and just with no notes writing Optimus Crime?
Well, I have other reminders for things that the next time I prep I have to remember. So I'm just putting in there Optimus Crime in the gambling halls. That's
Very
all.
good.
I wanted to imagine that you were setting an alarm for the exact moment that you thought we'd walk into the gambling halls to go off
Ding, ding, ding.
on camera. Ah, yes, Optimus Prime is here.
He's an artificer. Oh God.
Or is he a warforged?
Writes itself.
Even better. Yes, we are still new to what we're doing, but we're, I guess you could say, learning as we go. It still seems like the best decision for us is to investigate this room that young Master Rin is intrigued by.
I want to see the room.
We should take a quick look.
Who the fuck said that? I guess Dandelion's here.
Still
Oh, yes.
invisible, I think.
Welcome back.
I've been here.
I assumed so, because Colbane returned.
Yes.
But very well done.
I thought I might have locked her out of the gate, but
It would have been terrible.
No, she
seems I
did
missed.
shove me through the town.
She's very strong.
Yes, clearly.
I
More
just see you like pushing against like the back of his thighs, just like dirt kicking up from your feet behind
But I'm
you.
invisible.
Right?
So
As he
I'm
goes
obviously
nowhere, you just see dirt kicking out. That dude's really fucking zooming.
Takes like one step at a time.
Yep.
That's what happened.
See, you've killed Halfrin.
Yes, the man that you spoke of before.
Yes, the captain.
Did not know that that was him. We
Yes.
assumed so, but
He was pretty mean.
yes,
He's not a good man.
Mm-hmm.
yes. Well fought, though. But I think it is best if we try to make sure that we get to these people, and you included, out of here, and to a new and safer home.
I would like that very much.
Good. Very good, sir. The room, you said?
Shall we?
Yes.
Cool. So you guys, and you're bringing everybody with you.
I mean,
Or
in
you
terms
gotta
of the
scout
layout
ahead.
of the mountain, like, I didn't go on this pathway
Sure.
that leads to this, so I do not know if en route there is like an like if this is an offshoot path and there is a remaining path that like leads quickly or swiftly outside to be able to get the people out to. So like as we're walking, if that presents itself to me, I would visit that then.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So as Matthias Matthias had told you guys that he has not seen
The room.
another
correct?
way out.
Oh, okay.
But he assumes that there is one, but the tunnels are very like winding.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he assumes that there is another way out, but he's not sure. He's not seen one.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so you and this crowd of 50 people make your way through these winding mine tunnels as Rin and Matthias lead you to this strange room. Let me pop up a camera here. So you make your way through this this open, carved-out stone doorway into this room, and you see what appears to be a fairly simple-looking storage room with some crates and barrels scattered around, aside from the strange carving on the back wall and the weird, like, stone bowl shape that's kind of carved into the center of the floor.
Okay.
How deep is this bowl
Yeah.
shape?
It's pretty shallow. It's not like
And
deep
how
down. It's
big?
it is the size that it is on
Okay.
on the
Just like
map there.
a
Are all 56 plus people in this room?
No, they're outside.
Are you sure?
It's going
Yes.
to get very uncomfortable.
But yeah, if you guys want to put yourself around.
Sure.
And then that is what you see on the back wall, the paper that Paul has, which says, in Elvish and Dwarvish, life imitates art, along with some writing on the circular portion of this map that is also written half in Elvish, half in Dwarvish. I just
Let me
wrote
take
it
a
in
picture of it
English.
this way I can just look, and this way the other half of the table can take it.
See, we have a sacrifice already.
Perfect.
Bam.
you sent that to me.
Who said we had to spill it on?
But the rest of this room is made of like sandy dirt on the ground.
Are these like crates and everything
Bam.
around the room?
Mm-hmm.
Are they open?
They appear to be sealed.
Ooh.
Marcus, do you think there's mirrors in there?
It's very much possible, I guess you could say. Mirrors are valuable, and I don't necessarily think that bandits themselves would have much of an interest in use of a mirror, but mirror is still something that could be sold. And who knows?
This mirror is pretty cool, so
Yes, if
Maybe
they
they
did
just
have it, it
want
would be. Yes, very valuable to them. You're standing in the bowl?
yes.
Oh dear God.
Gonna
I
go
guess
over to
I
one
guess
of the
if you want to
crates.
put me like literally right behind her off the dais, whatever that like square space is.
Right here.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, yeah, that's totally fine. Close enough.
I would definitely like to go over to
close
one of
enough
the
to
crates,
squash her.
Yeah.
try and pry it open.
Sure, make a strength check for me.
Oh, Jesus. You've got to be kidding me.
It's your favorite kind of check.
So it's a 2 on the die, so it's a 1.
Yeah, so you kind of are
Not
unable
now.
to find a really anywhere to like fit this in. The top of the barrel and these crates seem to be like almost completely sealed. There's not really like a break part in the wood for you to jam in there. Please make a perception check for me.
Is this bit in the center in common?
It's half in Elvish and half in Dwarvish. I just wrote it in common
Okay.
because it's easier for me to have written
Is
it.
that what's on like the top and bottom, or is that?
No, the top and bottom says life imitates art
Okay,
on both
okay.
sides.
So Elvish, Dwarven, and then
15.
Is
Is
it
it the same in the middle? Is the top
correct?
half
Is it top
Elvish?
Elvish and bottom Dwarven?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if that was a mirror, that would have been
'Cause
important to know.
I can read Elvish,
Okay,
I believe. I think.
and then your perception.
15.
So you can see on the side of these barrels and these crates are small rectangular slits that seem to be cut in specific spots on each of these.
So there's holes. You're saying.
There are holes, but they're rectangular.
Very-
You're welcome to look at them if you'd like to investigate further and try to
Glad
look
you thought to
inside.
stab
Yeah, I mean, I would like quickly peer in.
Gotta put your
see
sword
if I
in
can
the
see anything.
Sure. Make an investigation check for me.
God, this is just bad all around. It's just so bad. 14.
Where are these holes?
In the storage boxes, you said, correct?
Yeah, they're specifically cut into the side. I will say they don't seem to be haphazardly cut either. They
Sure.
seem to be manufactured that way.
Sure.
So, Paul, inside of this crate or barrel that you were looking into, you see some sort of a reflective surface that seems to be angled, taking up pretty much the entire space within this barrel.
There might be a mirror in here.
Yeah, I mean, I would genuinely run over to whatever box inside of the room that he was attempting or sees this at.
Yeah, it would be this one.
Cool. Yeah, I have a fucking crowbar.
Oh, I was gonna run over and use my dagger, but if you have a
Nope,
crowbar,
I
that's
bought a
easier.
crowbar for exactly this reason. Bam! Yeah. Do you want me to do the strength check? Because crowbar just gives me advantage on strength things in which I'm able to get leverage.
Sure.
Do I get leverage?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Incoming double that one.
Crowbar! 19.
Nice.
Yes, you pop this open and you see that you kind of crack the lock on the inside as this thing creaks open. You peel the lid back and you can see that there is a large mirror built into the box, non-removable, that is angled and pretty much takes up the entire bottom half of the crate, and that is the only thing inside.
Okay.
But it is wedged into the wood.
Okay.
And you can see the light from
I can't
from your
draw.
torches.
Is this? This is not dandelion. Is this one of those magician boxes?
No.
It's fine.
It's not one of these magician boxes.
It's
thinking like
You
a
stab knight.
Crate disco ball, but
So, if this is me looking in to the box, top down,
Yep.
is it like horizontal split through? Is it at a diagonal on either direction? Is it flat along the bottom?
Yeah, it's
like
flat along
the bottom going towards the back wall?
Yeah, so it starts like lower down on the box and ramps up to the other side.
okay.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that.
Fantastic. I wish I could draw. Thank you.
Elvish,
Yes.
Dwarvish.
Yes.
This is carved into the wall.
Yes. And I'll also tell you that there's an indicator at the bottom
My arch enemy.
that would be like an opening.
Oh,
So
my.
that way you can orient it.
An indicator where?
Just don't see things that way, dude.
It's depth, man. Depth is always the issue.
Yeah. I have no concept of depth.
What?
She lost me.
Indicate the
Oh no, I
door
saw
that you
Felix
came
on there, and I was like, what?
Gotcha.
Paul's just realizing that I'm taking Oshwap murder notes at the top of my Adoris notes. No, it's because the carpenter Felix back in Lake Mount. So that's why when I send my people back there, I know to send them to Carpenter Felix to have him assist with building homes.
This grid
He's definitely not green
is
behind the
carved
ears.
into the wall.
Yes.
Does it look like there's a grid on the floor?
There is a grid on the floor.
Is there more floor than there is grid on the wall?
There is.
Exactly like the room.
Yes.
Which is to say, if I laid this over the top of the room,
Yes.
okay, there would be more off to the sides.
Correct.
So what's the top part of the center say? It's
A spirited jig. Is that the one that you can read?
yes.
You can read
I
Elvish?
can read Elvish.
Yeah. So
A
you
Is it
can,
jig.
Elvish in the middle? Or it's half and half?
Half and half.
yeah.
Okay.
I can.
And then the same phrase, top and bottom.
Correct.
I can do a jig.
Jake, maybe a twist.
Yes, it might help.
I'll dance.
Did it help?
I'll do a
The dance?
spirited
No.
jig.
Damn it.
I'm standing on this circle.
Do you
What if it
die in
does?
water?
What?
Do you die in water?
No, I don't. No.
That's in the bottom half.
What do you mean? What's
There's a
it?
bit about water.
It dies in water?
Give it food and it will live. Give it water and it will die.
Dandelion. What are you thinking?
Fire does that.
Yes, it does.
What are these bee symbols?
So they're not actually bees. They are. It's.
They're
buzz,
bees.
buzz
They're
bees.
So.
What's up with these bees?
Tell me about the bees.
Right.
This is what.
Yeah. So they do look like bees,
Several
but that
bees.
is an indicator symbol on there, but you don't see any representation for that on the floor.
Is it something that I recognize in terms of symbols? Is it close enough to something that I'd recognize to have a rough interpretation of as a symbol?
Definitely looks comparable to Dwarven runes.
That's why I'm asking.
Or is it that fake dwarvish?
Mm-hmm. I know it's
So that bitch dwarvish.
Water dwarvish.
We're awful enthusiastic about living and dying for land for water people.
So it is actually a bee in Dwarvish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it is a bee.
it is a bee.
There's bees everywhere.
Bees.
We're surrounded by bees.
Is there something bee related?
In terms of the dwarven language, would there be something that I would think that a bee in dwarvish would stand for by itself?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
Bullshit.
Perhaps
Bees?
to be.
No, there's like 5 bees.
There's 5
Perhaps
bees.
5 bee.
Perhaps 5 bees.
We could dance on the bees.
Is there exactly this amount of barrels and crates in the room?
Yes.
I'm going to start shoving them into this orientation.
Yes.
And then we dance.
I'm not going to dance, but I am going to start shoving them into this orientation.
Sure.
Shay?
Should rearrange the furniture.
With what as the lining point? Because if it's more squares.
With the door as the lining point, because he said there's an opening at the bottom that looks like the door.
Yeah, there's
Oh, is
extra
there?
square.
He
Yeah,
said
there's.
there like this.
Oh,
and with
oh,
this,
I didn't see
added
those
that after.
lines.
Yeah, I meant to add
Okay,
that.
okay.
I added it after.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how you can orient it. The way
Yes,
that
if you
it's
said
oriented
there's a
there.
grid on
Correct. Yeah,
effectively
there is
on
a
the
grid.
floor.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that's the dais.
Yeah. Yes. And I'll tell you, the spaces outside of the map are not gridded. Simply the center portion is gridded.
Okay.
Marcus,
Marcus?
can I borrow your crowbar?
Do you need to open more boxes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What was in that box?
A mirror. It is angled.
Perhaps there's more.
Perhaps. Dandelion.
Would you mind helping with this,
Shove
Marcus?
it
Sure. I only have 1 crowbar.
No, I mean pushing this box.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'm not made of crowbars, friends.
No.
I literally asked Don, can I have a crowbar? Because we're
might-
going into an area in which I feel like I might need a crowbar. And we needed a crowbar.
Did we find any crowbars on the dudes? They're all criminals, right?
Yeah, were there crowbars?
The cartoon raccoons.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the barrels next to the circle in the middle,
Okay.
and the crates to the outside.
Cool.
You're opening one of the
I'm opening one of
boxes
the-
or barrels?
One of the boxes.
Okay.
And shove it in and use all of my weight to pull down this crowbar.
Sure, make a strength check for me with advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say, does she get leverage because she's jumping up and down?
Yep.
Very good.
I like to imagine that she just like jumps up and hangs for a minute, just doesn't move. It's like kicky feet.
15.
Yes.
So you also crack this open and you can see that there is another mirror angled, fitting into the box but angled at a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna open the other end.
Same thing. All of these contain mirrors and they all have slits
Mm-hmm.
in the sides in specific spots.
Mm-hmm. More mirrors?
Mm-hmm.
What about the barrels?
Can I use this on a barrel?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's also mirrors.
It's got a lid, absolutely.
I'll pry open the barrels.
Yep,
Do I have
same
to roll
thing.
for all of them?
No. Yeah.
She
mirrors.
just becomes amazing
At
at using the
opening them.
crowbar.
It's because I'm
That's
literally...
canon, Don.
That's canon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything we ever need to break
Proficiency in
into.
crowbar.
Using a crowbar is kind of like a handshake.
You're just shaking hands with the crowbar.
Just jumping on the crowbar.
Using
The
the
same.
crowbar to shake hands with the crate.
The crowbar is an extension of you.
It's a crate handshake.
Cool.
Just look at the crowbar like...
Yeah, so you shift these into the spots that Shay indicated.
So the barrels at the two spots proximate to the dais and the three box, or the barrels close, boxes far.
Yep.
Cool.
And then we dance.
And then Sarah dances.
I've been dancing the whole time.
Sarah's still dancing.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Very good.
If it does have to do with fire, perhaps there is a right way to position these mirrors.
Certainly.
They do reflect things.
Yes.
Maybe they would reflect a fire. I've never tried that.
True. Is there anything in here that indicates that it would be a place in which a fire would be like a sconce and like a torch on a wall, or no spot in here that feels fitting for fire?
Yeah, no spot.
Very good.
Yep.
Could put it in the middle of the bowl.
Certainly. Could get some kindling.
Does anybody have a lot of stuff to burn?
We have this, and I hold up one of the lids.
Yeah,
to
I was
one
gonna
of the
say.
boxes.
Absolutely. We have 5 pieces of furniture. that we
Literally
can stack.
just
That'll work.
uncorked.
Mhm.
5 wooden containers.
Toss them on.
Mhm. So, do we want all of the mirrors to be
I'm gonna
facing
not be in the circle.
fire?
Look around the
While we're setting the fire.
like walls and ceiling of the room.
Mhm.
Is there anything that it looks like we could try to direct a reflection of this fire at? Or are the walls pretty barren outside of this carving?
Yeah, the walls are pretty barren.
Okay.
Facing the fire, perhaps?
Seems fitting. Yeah. Rotate slowly each one of the things to ensure that the mirrors are facing the dais.
Ready?
Yeah, absolutely. We put the tender in the bowl.
Yep.
And we light
Mhm.
a fire.
It's pretty
We
rough.
summon a demon.
Please.
We didn't consider that.
I'm ready for it, dude. We got a crowbar.
What's the hit die on that? By the way?
Crowbar? Probably improvised weapon, dude. Probably sucks, sadly.
Unless you take Tavern Brawler.
Yeah, right? Good old D6 a crowbar.
I feel like a crowbar would fit into a different stat block more than an improvised. So I guess
Sadly
there's not very not a good grip on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
It
like-
also doesn't have a lot of weight like a
Probably hurt.
hammer would have.
Yeah.
Hurt
it's-
yourself more. It's kind of sharp.
Mhm. Just
Yeah, it's-
scratch somebody's eyes.
Yeah, scratching damage.
Oh.
This is how we teleport to Satin door.
So as this fire ignites, you feel the ground begin to slightly shake under your feet. And these crates and barrels swivel in place. And on the left wall, you see the light reflecting through the mirrors, casting shadows on the walls. And you see the words written, "No matter how parched, no matter how rolled, no matter if magic, no matter how old." And you see on the left wall below this writing a small hole in the ground, very small, ignites with light.
Can you read that for me again?
No matter how parched, no matter how rolled, no matter if magic, no matter how old.
I will take out a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Walk it over to the little fire.
Mm-hmm.
Toss it in.
Yep. So this paper ignites and burns, and you hear scraping again as these barrels and crates twist once more. And now on the right wall, you see this writing, I am green with envy when placed beneath the sky. I breathe not the air you breathe, yet you do not wonder why. If you were to shelter me, I would simply shrivel and die.
Put her in the fire.
Can't cage dandelion, man.
Do I have like,
Shay?
can I just pull a leaf
Yeah.
out of my hair?
Mm-hmm.
Just throw it in.
Yep. So the leaf ignites in a puff of smoke, and these crates and barrels twist one more time. And now on this back wall where this carving is, you see the words, the foolish man wastes me, the average man spends me, the wise man invests me, yet all men succumb to me.
You know what's great? I bought a fucking hourglass, Don. There's just a small light. You said it's not a fire that's on the back wall?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take my fucking hourglass out.
Yep.
Put that on the light.
So you put that over the light, and suddenly this back wall begins to shake
Fine purchasing.
as it begins to sink down into the floor until it is flush with the ground, and you are now left with an opening into a further room.
The back wall, where the carving was.
Yes.
If I, like, move my hourglass,
Is that
does
like
is
a
my hourglass done?
Nope. You
like a
still have
Zelda puzzle?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab
So I
my.
didn't pay for it. It's okay if you want to take it from me.
No.
All right, good.
I'm gonna grab my leaf.
Oh, that was convenient.
Yeah, right? I literally remember going through, like, my fucking thing, and it's like, yep, hourglass. Glad I asked if I could have one.
Yeah,
And you
hourglass
said yes.
or sand, which was on the ground, would have worked either or.
What does the room beyond look like?
So you see directly in front of you a fairly plain space that's the same width as the room that you're currently in.
Okay.
But you see that there is on the side of the room, 5 foot in width on each side, a ramp that goes up to the ceiling. And you can see in the shadows of the room, there's a large boulder that is like wedged to slide down this ramp.
Okay.
Are there no more puzzles?
I do not think so for now. Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Perhaps we'll look for more puzzles or something along those lines in the future. See if somebody, I don't know, sells them in some kind of book form.
Maybe some.
I'm sure they could.
What about a puzzle room?
Yes.
We were
Okay.
just in.
Absolutely.
I like those.
Something that you would have to escape from.
Why would I want to do that?
You don't want to escape from the puzzle room? You want to live in the puzzle room forever? Just endless puzzles.
Yes.
That's petrifying.
That's hell. That's
Yeah,
for sure
right.
hell. That's hell.
Yep. Literal no exit. Okay. Okay. Learn something new about Sarah.
This is my life now.
Just a little bit of projecting there.
Right? Just provide for me endless puzzles and nothing more.
I miss escape room so much.
Yeah, so you make
How
her...
big is the boulder?
It pretty much takes up the width of
You
this
said
space.
5 foot ramp ascending boulder.
On each side. So the boulder is like, as if
okay.
it will slide down and block your path. So as you take your step forward, please make a perception check for me.
You got it. Yep. 13.
Yeah. So you see on the floor in front of you, just over this threshold, an extremely obvious pressure plate with dwarven carvings on it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna not step on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like lift my boot. I don't speak whatever the rune things were in the previous room, but there's more of it here on the floor.
What's it say?
It says emergency seal.
Emergency seal?
Huh?
I've never seen a seal in my life.
I've heard of those.
Probably keeps
I think they live in the water. Is that another puzzle?
Yes,
people out of this room.
I think we need to find seals.
We probably shouldn't step on it.
Nor should the seal. I don't know if that... Do they have feet? Most things that
If they
live in the water,
they
do
probably...
not usually have feet.
Is it a kind of fish?
I do not know. We'll
I
see if we
wonder
can
if they
order
have
it
a
the next time.
handshake.
They might. I do not know if they have hands though, Daniel, and I don't want to disappoint you. We'll see if we can order seal the next restaurant we find.
I want to eat it.
We'll see whether or not they can tell us if seals exist at the next restaurant. We're also going to a dock heist, and perhaps we could find
Maybe
one in
we'll
the
find
open
seals.
waters. Yes, we'll
Those
absolutely
pressure plate,
spend
how big is it?
many hours
It's
searching
5
for
foot
seals.
by 5 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also like not 100% the same color as the floor. It's fairly obvious that it's there.
Break in case of emergency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Don't step on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't we need to get out?
Well,
Does it say to break seal?
No, it says emergency seal.
Emergency seal.
yeah, like
Yes.
you're trapping motherfuckers in. So 2 ramps ascending. Boulder is between the 2 of them, so this way it would slide down.
Correct.
Is there anything, obviously if they're ascending, is there anything on like the back wall, what would be behind these ramps in the central portion?
Yeah, sorry. There's a doorway.
Oh good!
Perfect door!
That's what I was like.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because
I
I,
mean,
thought we had to step
like
on it.
this is
No,
a
no,
dead
no,
end
sorry.
and we just get railed?
Yeah,
No, sorry. There is a doorway in between the ramps.
great.
That's
okay.
why I was like drawing it. I was
Yeah.
like, man, that really sucks. Like, I drew it with a fucking wall on the other end. Yeah, I mean, once we avoid the pressure plate, we'll just fucking keep walking.
Gonna make sure and direct all 50 plus people around fucking pressure plate.
Yep.
We could put something big over it.
No.
It's too big. I thought about that.
It's very large. Build some kind
I'll
of
just
One of the
like a
crates.
crossing guard. Just
It's exactly the same size.
watch your step.
bridge.
Watch your step. Did you enjoy your ride?
Watch the tram car.
Keep your hands and feet side of the ride at all times.
So you direct all of these people in this room over the pressure plate and under this ramp, and you make your way into a much larger space out in front of you as you move into the next room. And you can see that on the back wall, above a further doorway, a carving embedded with gemstones that appears to depict a field with a sun rising over it.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Oh. Put that in the Discord.
Hmm?
You put that in the Discord.
Sure.
That's nice.
Bam.
Thank you.
In terms of symbolism, does it feel outlandish for me to recognize?
Nope. For
Very
my
good.
religion people, this is the symbol for the god Lathander.
Is that the wheat one?
Weed?
Wheat?
Oh, wheat.
Pull out some of this halfling weed.
That's the pot god?
Weed for the weed god.
Just like, just
Go this way for the pot.
just a little bit of the ash. You,
2 puffs, pass. There's a lot of people.
We're gonna need a real big one for this party.
Close the door.
Hot roommate?
Right?
Boxing them in.
That's fake Paylor.
Right?
Somebody go hit that seal.
So in this room, among all of these people in this carving, are statues of warriors in full armor with large battle axes, fighting what appears to be like cloaked, hooded figures. And you can see on these hooded figures as you walk around and inspect kind of these strange like stone statues.
Mm-hmm.
You see that some of them have the symbol for the god Shar, and some of them have the symbol for the god Saloon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How many of them are there?
There's a lot of them.
So, the individuals that are in armor, do they have a consistency in the symbols
Yes.
compared to the hooded people?
So the hooded people, about half have Saloon, half have Shar.
Okay.
The armored people have what looks to be like fairly intricately carved pauldrons.
Mm-hmm.
The most identifying thing for them is a like a cross belt that they all have that has a large buckle with the symbol of a sun on it.
I'm assuming I recognize none of these symbols.
No,
I do not. Okay.
I don't think so.
Religious man recognize?
Yeah.
All? Some?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would. Let me think about that for a second. You would definitely recognize the sun and still again tie that to Lathander.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably recognize Saloon. I don't think you would recognize Shar.
Cool.
Yep.
Many robed figures.
Yeah.
Many armored figures.
Yes.
And robed fighting robed? Armor fighting robed? Robed fighting robed and fighting armor?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
3 different groups.
So it looks like there's 3 teams.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Like the old.
Just Fall Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 different groupings.
That egg grab.
Oh my god, why would you remind me of that?
Just traumatized Paul all over.
Fuck. They just always get the golden.
Right.
And these are all. None of them are the same. They're all in different positions. They're not identical.
Oh.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So
None of them are.
this
that
is
the-
carved? Is it raised? How is
they're like
Statues?
statues.
Oh, they're statues.
Yeah, there are statues in the
Holy
room with
shit.
you that are all scattered around the room, but none of them are in the exact same position. They are in various like spots of fighting these other statues.
Sure.
Knock on one.
Feels like stone.
I'm going to walk up to one of the robed ones, and I guess I'll inspect it. And
Sure. What specifically are you looking for?
just gonna look at all of it. Just
Sure.
like what it's made of. Kind of like, I guess one of them's in like a battle position, but
Mm-hmm.
just kind of what is it?
Sure. I would also 100%, as the religious man, point to the symbol that we previously saw with the fields and the circle on the buckles. This is Lathander, a god of renewal and rebirth. Definitely important for nature and things of that regard. And then this other one is Salune, embodiment of light. Also traditionally rather benevolent. If you want to say that any of that is different for your world.
Nope. That's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one would be light and the moon, but yeah, both of them benevolent as far as you're aware.
Is the symbol? What are the symbols themselves?
Lathander would be the
The sun.
sun with very like jagged pointed edges. Saloon is a crescent moon. And Shar is, which you don't know that it's Shar, but it's a black, it's a disc with an outer ring because they're not colored.
So you said crescent moon. Did you mean quarter moon?
No, that is a problem.
What kind of moon?
No,
It is a problem. It is a fucking problem.
It's not a moon, it's a space
You were like,
station!
yeah, we're gonna go with quarter moon and keep it that way.
I
no,
didn't consider
no,
how that was going to be problematic.
Yeah,
So
so
what
it's a
happened to the
foreign
moon?
moon that we've never seen.
Now the world just becomes solving the moon problem.
We're going to the fucking moon, guys.
Go straight to the moon.
We really hotbox this room, man. We're looking at different moons now.
Something's got to bend here or break.
So I'll say it's a quarter crescent moon.
Oh God!
Yeah. So it's
How
like
many cycles are there?
Quarter crescent.
Yeah, it's a little different.
The moon moves this way and this way.
Oh God. We're gonna get no-scoped by the people on the moon.
It's one quadrant of the moon, but also a crescent.
Yeah.
Like a second sun? Do we have two suns?
No.
The one that we can't like really see. Like,
The invisible sun.
Quarter
you can.
crescent.
Yeah.
So it's a tiny
Tiny little moon. Yeah.
I have to edit this now. Quarter crescent. Oh my god, I'm gonna look at that later and freak out.
I knew the fucking Pac-Man move would come back to bite me in the
Shit!
chest.
I had an issue with it.
I can't make the symbol for saloon a fucking pizza slice.
You're really just gonna...
Because realistically, for Crescent Moon, it's a fucking pizza slice.
So it's like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Does it really just...
Just a tiny little.
So yeah, we just got, little baby moon up there in the corner.
What the...
Take that, saloon.
Glad we changed that symbol.
Yep. It just looks like there's a banana in the corner, Don. Oh god.
Nobody puts banana in the corner.
Right?
When...
Okay. What a weird thing to look
So
at.
what am I feeling up here?
A statue?
Yeah.
Statue.
What is it made of? What does it feel like?
So, this is made
Is
of
this
like.
is this robe coming off?
No.
Should I sing to it?
No. So I'll say that you're looking at one of the ones with the baby moon symbol. And you can see that this appears to be made of like a mixed colored stone, but it's incredibly detailed. Like you can see all of the details on the like flow of the cloth in this person's robe. The details on their hands look extraordinarily realistic.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
Yeah, it feels like strong stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would point out the dark disc symbol. I do not know this one. Sadly. Does anyone else have any knowledge about what this strange disc symbol could be?
It looks like a circle.
It is in fact a circle. I do not know for what it represents.
Would I know what it means by any chance?
It is
No, you would
Shaw.
not.
She's the counterpart to Seluna.
Very good. I know of Shar by name and duty, but not by symbol. You said that there were gems, right? In
Yeah.
the back wall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, embedded in the symbol for Lathander.
Is that the only other like representation? Is there like something that looks like it could be the gods around, or is it just the warriors and then these gems?
Yeah, the warriors and then the symbol of Lathander, much larger, carved on the door, above the door with gemstones.
How big is this room?
I'm real bad at sizes, but
Like 50
it's,
by 50? Because
Yeah.
it feels like it should be big as
yeah,
fuck.
it's,
if there's
it's a large space,
Because
Like,
are the
are
statues
these-
humanoid
Yeah.
size, or are they
Yes.
larger than us?
humanoid size.
Cool.
Yep.
So we found the stone room.
But they are, sorry for races.
Mm-hmm.
The armored figures are dwarvish and elvish.
Mm-hmm.
The hooded figures are a mixture, but mostly human.
And you said these figures all look like they were fighting.
Yes.
They all look engaged with the activity that they're around.
Mm-hmm.
None of them look strangely disengaged from the activity.
No. I'll say that, like, there's one that where you see, like, a figure in armor pulling another figure in armor, like, away.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them seem, like, completely disengaged from, like, looking the other direction or asleep. Nothing like that.
The two you just described,
Mm-hmm.
are their faces visible?
Yes.
What sort of expressions do they have on their faces?
Pain.
Are they race-wise?
The one, it's an elf pulling a dwarf away.
Okay.
Do they appear to be wounded, or do they just look like they're feeling pain?
They look wounded. You can see like fragments in the stone.
Fragments like the stone was chipped, or fragments like a body was...
It looks intentional, not like the stone was chipped.
I might be able to salvage your mood shit later. Remind me.
I mean,
Good God.
We could just make it where it's not a Pac-Man moon. One person has said it. We could just make it
too
that
late.
it's not.
You could have just made it a quarter moon.
Nope.
Got an idea.
All right.
John just used a lot of brain power to.
It's fine.
There's 3 moons.
It's
Later.
the first joke that's come back to bite me in the ass.
right, dude? It's kind of insane that, like, for the first time, a joke has
So glad
actually
I
had an
Negative
application.
effects.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad I immediately
But,
thought
like,
of it.
I definitely think, especially with this, we can work something.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Statues, the entrance into the room, anything else at all
In this room,
noteworthy about this room? I mean, you described the like
Sure.
emblem on the wall and whatever, but like no other entrances or exits.
no, there's
Any
there's
other
only the one entrance at the
furniture or anything like that?
Yeah, there are some chairs and tables and things scattered around, but most of them have been like knocked over at this point
Okay.
and appear to be extremely old.
The statues, do they look like they have bases, or do they look like they're just standing on a floor that was already here?
They look like they're standing on a floor that was already here. I will tell you that you also see on the tables and chairs and on spots on the wall, see like slash marks and signs of a struggle in here.
Near any of these statues that would be holding weapons that look like they could have damaged this wall?
Absolutely.
Do they all look like they're using martial melee weapons? Are there any magical effects that appear to be in stone?
That is a great question.
Scorch marks and the indentations of, like, acid.
Yeah, so exactly. So yeah, there are scorch marks on some of the tables, on some of the walls. You can see on the ground, actually coming out of the hand of one of the several of these hooded figures, the ones with Shar, you can see what looks to be flame coming out of one of the hands of these people. That's like almost as if it's like attached to the hand.
Right.
This is a strange room.
It really is.
Why are these people made of stone?
Real quick, the gems that are embedded in the image of Lathander, do you know what gems they would be?
Yeah, so you'd have emeralds and rubies for the greens and reds. The yellow would be like fragments of gold.
Gold.
Yes.
Based on the state of the room, I would say that perhaps these weren't always statues.
It would seem
You think they
Like-
were people?
they were people, yes.
It does look like this was a room that was once utilized for something, and like some sort of attack happened. I don't know what could have done all of this simultaneously. None of them seem to be shocked by the state of any of the others.
Right.
Is there anything on the ceiling?
No.
I don't know. Would I know of any spells that can do anything to this effect? Like petrify or...
No.
Okay.
Are we going to turn into stone?
Hopefully not. I don't know of any magic that can do this. You said there's no doors? There's no other doors?
No, there's an opening at the back.
Opening at the back, okay.
Yeah. But you can see that the wooden door frame that was there has been like splintered and rotting.
Okay.
Check out this opening.
Yeah. I'm going to start ushering people towards the opening. Kind of.
We should probably check it out before we send crowds of people.
Not sending them out, just towards the door.
Yep, sorry, 1 second.
No, you're fine.
This is a spooky place.
Yep, they said they were going towards the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you said it was blown away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just splintered and broken. So you guys walk towards the door and you look into this next room. And you see that this is a smaller kind of like central room. And you can see that there are 3 doorways, one straight back and 2 on the sides. About the size of the room that you were in initially.
Okay.
So much smaller and looks to kind of just be like a central crossroads for these other 3 rooms. There's not really anything in here, but there are more of these statues fighting.
Okay.
Still fighting.
Yep.
So I guess it's kind of like a 3-way intersection, right? Or I guess 4-way.
4-way, yeah, because of you coming in, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're coming in from
Can I feel any sort of draft? I'll even lick my finger.
Sure. So I'll say to the left, you feel a very minor draft.
Are there doors on these? Or is it hallways?
They are doors,
They are
but again,
doors.
Oh, I thought it was
splintered.
hallways.
Sorry, again,
Oh.
splintered in.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an 8-man draft?
Yes.
I think
Outta here
left is the way to go.
We all know what's to the right or
They fire
straight.
in 5.
Yeah, absolutely not. No 5s, no 7s.
Yeah, to the left, you get a very, very minor draft, like barely there.
Oh, it is a 5-man.
Damn.
I feel like left is the way to go.
I'll shrug and nod.
Anybody else know how to get out of mines?
Are we trying to get out of the mine? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh,
What did you think we were doing?
I thought we were doing puzzles.
Does it seem like we're in a different type of... so, like, the one room obviously having, like, pattern on the floor and whatnot is, like, a building,
Yeah.
not, like, a cavern. So we, like, came through an area that was kind of cavern-like into... Is it still like this?
This feels more built out intentionally
Sure.
compared to the cavernous areas.
Is there any sort of writing or anything on the walls at this 4-way intersection?
Yes. So I would say on the
The one to the left says, "Don't listen to Paul."
so the one on the left, written in Elvish and Dwarvish, says you can see kind of scraped into the stone above that says kitchen. The one straight forward says church, and the one church or worship, and to the right says bedchambers.
And
Should go to the left.
the statues in the rooms that were elves and dwarves had which symbol on them?
They had the symbol of Lathander on it, and there's another of these symbols on this like church direction.
The Lathander symbol.
Yes. Yeah, there are more of those around in various states carved.
And
into
those were the
walls.
ones that were in robes?
No, armor.
Armor.
Yes.
I don't know if any of these are exits.
Well, I
There might
don't.
be food in that one.
Seems like some sort of living space. Kitchen and some bed chambers. And a place of worship.
It's the only way back. There has to be a way out through this way. Kind of seems odd to go back all up and out only one way.
Can't hurt to search what is here.
Which, I check the kitchen first.
Fair enough.
To the kitchen.
There might be food.
We should have this crowd of people stand back.
For sure.
Trailing 50 plus people through these hallways is probably just going to make it really awkward to turn around and check the other direction. Oh, excuse me, hold on, excuse me.
Stay here.
Very lovely craftsmanship. Please check out the kitchen.
Else.
It's like a straight up house tour. Way too many people in it.
Like one of those famous buildings, you know.
We're gonna get to the kitchen, there's gonna be a rope. Can't get close to the stove.
This is where.
So you make your way to the left into this kitchen area. And as you step through, there's a very short hallway that then opens up into what appears to literally be a kitchen. There are several cauldrons and things set up, and you can see that the draft that you were likely feeling, there are small holes about yay big bored into the ceiling that go straight up.
I'm gonna look up one.
So you see about 200 feet up, you see stars.
That's really impressive.
That's pretty far away.
You think you could fit through one of those?
Does it look big enough?
No, it's like
Maybe.
that size.
You want to try?
Yeah.
And
Straight give it her a boost.
I'm going.
all right. Thank you.
Gonna push even if it seems like she can't fit.
Yeah. So you pick up Dandelion and kind of push her towards this very small hole.
Bad influence.
And you just kind of like put your arms in, put your hands in, try to like wedge your head in there, and there's no scenario in which you're going through this very tiny ceiling vent hole.
I don't think I fit.
Squeeze in.
Wait.
Yeah, the thing you have.
Sure, that works too.
Shimmer can go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I liked the other plan better, but this works.
I'm gonna keep.
Definitely still pushing.
It'd be easier if I was smaller.
You can't make yourself smaller. All right, send the dragon.
Yeah, so you lift Shimmer up and
No, it's
put him on
different characters, like,
this hole, and he begins slowly climbing up the inside of this thing, kind of like bouncing back and forth as he makes his way up this small little tunnel. You see him pull himself out at the top a few minutes later.
I'll look through his eyes.
Yep.
See what he sees.
So you see that
Can I
he
see
is.
that far? You said it's like 200 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Might be too far.
I think it's 100 feet.
I think it's 100 feet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push you closer to him.
Wall within 100 feet. Communicate telepathically additionally as an action. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, so you try and nothing.
Anything?
He's too far away.
How
Few
far
minutes
away is
later,
too far
he-
away?
He begins coming back down.
That far. I don't know how far it is, but it's too far.
Are there any of these statues in the kitchen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. More of
Are
these
they
in here.
also fighting?
Yes.
Oh, that's creepy.
Fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah, and you can see that in a couple spots, there are a few scattered around, like basically if someone carved, it's the actual warhammer that this carving appears to be. So, like, if one of the warhammers that they were holding was not stone, if it was, like, real, there is a real one that looks identical to the stone one leaning against the wall.
Oh.
And it's not stone.
Not stone, not in anybody's hand, just leaning against the wall.
Okay. Are there any statues that looked like they were laying about dead?
Absolutely.
And so the kitchen is probably also kind of beat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is-
There
Things overturned.
yeah, things overturned.
Slash marks in walls, things
yeah,
like that.
You can see that there are like very long rotted remnants of food in crates and things that have just been smashed at this point that are long dried and rotted into nothingness.
So there's no food.
No.
Can I guess? Would I have any indication about how long it would take for food to rot? Like
I would
that.
say that this has progressed so far that you're barely able to tell that it's food at all. Just assuming that that's what it was because you're in a kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, this is long.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a little moldy. This doesn't.
No, this
exist
just like
anymore.
doesn't exist. Yeah, it's pretty much nothing.
We get a low end on the rotting of food for it to be at a point where it's so far gone. Food rot
Let me
time.
carbon date it. Come on.
Let's test your knowledge on how long
Hey,
it takes.
I'm just saying, like, if we've
Sure.
been around perishable foods, they rot at some point.
Sure.
They don't
Turned into nothing.
disintegrate into dust
Right. Sure.
in a short period of time.
Sure. 100 years, I would say.
Okay.
On the low end.
On the low end,
Seems
yeah.
like at least that
At
long.
least that long, yeah.
Okay. Well, guess there's nothing we can do here.
Next hallway.
Is there a door through this kitchen, or does it just the kitchen?
Just the kitchen.
There was no food, no way out.
Gonna
I
head,
guess one way out.
head back out
Mhm.
toward the intersection.
Mm-hmm.
This place sucks.
Here, go toward the church.
Sure.
Church. Okay.
Yep. So you make your way into this church-like hallway straight forward as it begins to slope slightly upwards as you move. And you make your way into this opening set of double doors that, again, kicked in. There's a few more of these figures in the hallway as you kind of like weave your way between them and make your way to this church. And you enter, and you can see that this is fairly nicely decorated with more of these symbols of Lathander on the wall, on these extremely like tattered, frayed banners that are hanging. You can see that there's a set of wooden pews that are mostly overturned and war-torn as you make your way into this room. Ceiling is much higher than any of the other rooms. This has been pretty fairly carved out. And you can see that at the edge of this room is a burnt out, like beaten pedestal at the back,
Book.
along with a banner behind it.
Is there a book on the pedestal? Is there anything on the pedestal?
Yes.
Or a wolf man holding a sword.
Floats over to him.
I still
Slowly.
I misty step to it. I do it.
Mine.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
I'm-
can see that this appears to be.
Is it dark in here, by the way?
There's so many.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to light a
Didn't
torch
realize
then.
there was like a
Actually, no, I have
pile.
my goggles. But
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see.
I
yeah,
forgot I
so-
have dark vision.
What did you think it was?
What are you doing? What? He's like dying laughing.
There's just so many of them behind her fucking
Oh,
thing, dude.
shit.
There's like 7.
What the hell?
I would share if anyone wanted it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can see that this is a.
Is it a tome?
It's a leather bound, fairly beat up and like dried more than leather would really be had it been sitting in a normal place.
Okay.
what looks to be like a religious book. Open it up.
Yep.
And you can see that this speaks about Lathander, about the god Lathander.
Which
and
language is it in?
It's in Elvish. There's, as you flip through, it's also in Dwarvish at the back half of the book.
I was hoping you'd say there's one page and it says Shay was here. He turns around and I'm holding the book.
Oh no!
That's how you get stabbed.
But
Panic stab.
you see things that are generally just writings about the god Lathander. You see phrases like, from death, life. There is always another dawn. In the dawn, beauty reigns and the way is clear.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of flip through it while I'm in this room.
Yep. And you feel something tickle at the back of your legs.
Oh, God, no. I look behind me.
You see a small, frayed piece of cloth hitting the back of your leg from this large tabard, banner of Lathander. You can see it's kind of like waving slightly. You tilt it to the side, and you can see that there is a doorway that is hidden behind this banner, which was previously kind of like fixed to the bottom to hide the door, but because it's frayed, you're getting hit with pieces of it.
There's a door back here.
Is it unlocked?
It's open.
Mm-hmm.
What's in there?
You see a long, dark, thin hallway that starts to go up.
Just looks like a hallway. It goes up.
Maybe that's your way out?
Our way out, yes. Unless you plan on
could
staying.
call it then.
I'm gonna start going up the ramp
Sure.
with my little tome.
Mm-hmm. Everybody making their way that way?
Should gather the rest of the people if we think we have a way out.
Yes.
Should we check first?
I think it's best to make sure that there is safety.
Just don't step on any emergency seals.
Oh shit.
Yes. Because I wasn't here. When they were at the four-way stop,
Yep.
down I heard was like a kitchen.
No, so down was the way you came from.
Okay.
Left is kitchen.
Okay.
Right is bedchambers.
Okay.
North or forward is church.
Church.
Yep. Church/worship.
Had you guys explored kitchen/bedchambers?
We didn't get the bed
We
chambers.
went
Okay.
into the kitchen because there was a draft. There was a hole that went up and
That
out the
was
top
what
of the
that
mountain.
hole was.
Yeah.
There's also a
Okay.
giant warhammer in there that you may
And
or may
then
not
we-
have wanted.
Came around.
Good. Yes, if you guys don't mind ensuring that the path is clear, there is something I would like to look at a bit more closely back the way we came.
Understood.
Thank you. Yeah. Start walking back.
Cool. I'm going to resolve you first,
Sure.
because then I'll have to change the map, so we'll do that first.
Cool. Yeah.
You want us to leave or?
Yeah, because I don't know what he's going to look at.
Everyone else is waiting in here. Look, you're going back.
Yeah,
Everyone
I'm
else is
going
staying in
backwards.
the church.
We're going up the.
Oh,
ramp
I'm
to check
not
the-
going up there
Okay.
either. I'll linger and turn around too. I want to go look at the bedchambers.
Okay.
So I don't need to stay, or
Sure.
I don't know
I mean,
if there's anything.
I would be
pertinent
like in
there,
that general
but-
area anyway. I intend to just go back to look at something.
Okay. Yep.
So
Yeah,
I'm
no.
fine if Mike is in here for
Sure.
the thing.
Yeah, I just want to check the bedchambers since
Mhm.
nobody glanced.
Yep. And I'm assuming that for the Warhammer, they would have described it to me. Did it look like it matters to me religiously, or does it look like it's just a Warhammer?
So it is carved similar to the other ones are, that on the face of it is Lathander's symbol. On the sides of it is like a rising sun. So religiously,
Yes. Then,
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, then I want the Warhammer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't want to not get the
Yeah.
fucking Warhammer of the gods.
Yeah, it looks identical to the ones that the stone statues are holding, but
Yeah,
this one
sure.
is an
Absolutely.
actual
Yep.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so once I collect that, I just wanted to go back to the area in which there was the archway above the door that has the symbol of Lathander with the gemstones in it.
Sure.
Cool. How high is the door frame, like, up above?
The door frame is about, say, like 8 feet.
Okay. So, at the symbol, you had said that there were gemstones embedded in it. Are there any gemstones that are missing in the depiction of Lathander's symbol? For, like, the emeralds or the flakes of gold or the rubies that line it?
I'll say that there are a couple that have, like, fallen
Okay.
due to the age that you
Okay.
can see if you, like, peer around. You can see them
Yeah,
kind
I
of
would
scattered
look around to see whether or not there are any, like, fragments that have been lost.
Yeah, you can see that, like, they've been pretty much kicked out of the way. People have not, like, taken them.
Sure. Yeah, no, I would look for all that I could possibly find within the room, and obviously I'm not like an artisan. I can't like reembed
Sure,
them
but
into the
attempt to
stone.
repair
But
the
like
best
if I
you
could
can.
at least just lay them back in there and try to like press it into the indentations that were there,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question for me is, I know that I worshipped, as my people did, Shantia for our homeland.
Mm-hmm.
Colloquially, like, are there also beliefs that would have been held about Lathander for my people?
Yeah.
I don't want to like overstep
Sure.
what Marcus should know about Lathander, because
Sure.
I know about Lathander. So.
Sure, absolutely. So I would say that your opinion of Lathander would be that worshipping Shantea and the like nurturing aspects of nature, Lathander helps to like cultivate that with the morning sun.
Sure. Okay. So then, yes, I would absolutely have him in a good light.
Yeah, you would
Fitting
hold
light.
him in fairly high regard.
Sure.
For
Okay.
sure.
So then, for me, this is the room in which there were statues of the people for Shar and Saloon and Lathander as well. You said Lathander was dwarf and elf. Shar was all human?
Yes, Shar was all human.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I would use Divine Sense just to see whether or not there's any kind of like consecrated or desecrated ground in here, anything that might be affected by Hallow as a spell. Obviously, if these people are also secretly like Celestials or anything like that, that'd be nice too. Statue angels.
So I would say that you get consecrated energies resonating from the armored statues.
Okay. It's typically the ground, not the individuals. So,
Sure.
like, if this is a holy battlefield, if you just want to tell me this area feels consecrated, you don't need to be overly
Sure.
specific.
Okay.
Like, it's up to you.
Sure. Yeah, I would say definitively the grounds of this place are absolutely consecrated. This is holy ground.
Cool. I'm going to take out my holy water from the well.
It is called that.
Yep. And I will, I guess, dump a small amount into my hand, and you told me that it was an elf that was pulling a dwarf away, that they looked like they were in pain. Yeah, I would just wet my hand with the holy water and go over to the dwarf, his face, and just, I don't know, like, it's gonna be an obvious, like, crude application, but, like, just place my hand upon the dwarf's face, and then with my thumb, just, like, give a crude, it's gonna effectively look like a cross, but it's supposed
Sure.
to be the scales
Sure.
for Tyr, for justice.
Okay.
Just in some kind of peaceful, honorific sense.
Sure.
And, like, their eyes are open, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I can't close them, but symbolically, I would absolutely attempt to close the eyes of the two men who were attempting to, like, get away from whatever this horrific battle was.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, upon knowing that it's consecrated, I'm doing my best to restore the symbol for Lathander. Yeah, I would just kind of, kneel for a brief moment at the archway underneath the statue and just pray and give thanks to Tyr and Torm for leading us safely through this area and giving us an opportunity to free my people and set them home.
Sure.
And then we'll walk back through.
Cool.
Just gonna take a peek in bedrooms.
Yeah. So you find pretty much more of the same that was in the kitchen. There are scattered bits of non-stone armor that looks to match the ones that are on these statues.
Okay.
You can see that there are some more armored figures of or people that are like in the process of essentially donning their armor and grabbing their weaponry and making their way out of these chambers. You find again like probably like 50 beds in this large space that are kind of bunk stacked around. There's not a whole lot in here. You can see that there are some like very burnt papers. A lot of the beds are completely charred and burnt. But more of the same as the kitchen, just very old, more of these statues and some like fragments of pieces that are real of these statues.
Gotcha. Did any of the armor sets look like complete, or does it look mostly like pieces, like shoulder guards or whatever?
I would say you could assemble a full set from the pieces that are around.
And does it look like the beds, like, there's not like a chest at the foot of every bed, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after
Thank you,
looking-
Octane.
If I went in by myself and came out and saw you doing any of that, I would gesture in and like, you know, make like armor motions and like beat my chest and kind of shrug.
Heavy like mine.
And nod.
Yeah. I would go fucking snatch that shit up because I would want to eventually give that to Murdoch. Because
Yeah.
we only gave Murdoch like some shitty leather, so I would absolutely go. Just probably chain.
It's whatever comparable to what you have.
Damaged plate, which has the same AC value as chain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, yes, I would go collect the damaged plate. I'm gonna be. No, I'm not encumbered because I left shit at home. So yeah, no, I'll go grab that and bring that back. Thank you, Octane.
Yeah,
Fucking
thank you very
seriously,
much.
thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
saw
dude,
that.
like,
Thank you so much, Octane.
We
Good
really do
Lord,
appreciate
man.
it.
Seriously, it really means the world to
Yeah,
us
right.
that you appreciate our content and support us. Thank you so much. Genuinely, that is incredible.
Yeah, I will grab the plate, add it to my bag, and go back out onto the crossroads. I know you can't really answer, Mr. Pigeon, but you've never seen individuals in the midst of a fight turn to stone.
Nope. Shake my head. I assume. This
No.
is, okay. It's just isn't something I'm
Yeah,
wise to.
weekly. No,
yeah,
no,
right?
no,
Like,
no.
I gotta ask. Yeah.
Not at all.
Where you are from, do they also worship things?
I would nod. Pull out my sickle and gesture toward the saloon A.
Understood. That is good to know. The things that were done here seem very strange, and I do not know when in my life or the life of my father these might have happened, but it seems curious to me that the mountain so close to my home would have had a battle such as this. My people, we were mostly humans and elves. I did not grow up around many dwarves, and I did not grow up around many people who worshipped Shar, as Shay has said, or even Salune, but I know the things that lie beyond the bellowing mountains are more voracious and vicious, and are not these people as well. It seems strange to me that a battle of this type, the grounds back there are consecrated, they are holy. I do not understand why here, but I do know that people believed this was a place at the heights of the peaks. They could try to have their voices reach the gods. I do not know if that is what these people were here trying to do. And I do not know if you, Mr. Pigeon, have any god that you, in your own way, would like to communicate with. But there might be some value for that, for you here, should we ever find ourselves climbing one day.
Yeah, I'll nod along and I guess gesture toward If we're like in the hallway back toward the, I don't know how to spell this. Charades is awesome. Gesture toward the people in their beds, I guess.
Sure.
And, like make like a
Step.
yeah, like it. Try to. In the same vein, it's like I don't really know what's going on. I'll try to play charade detective.
Okay.
Point out that I
People
guess
were killed in their beds?
it looks strange to me that with it being a three-way, one of them living here, that means the other two didn't.
Sure.
Try to best communicate that
Yeah.
this is slightly confusing to me as well.
Okay. So I would take a quick peek at the bed chambers. Which people were in there? The ones putting on the armor for Lathander?
Ones. Yep.
Are they dwarf elf mix?
Yep.
I know commonly who is worshipped in Arbor. Anyone other than Joaquin and Timora? Because Joaquin is trade and Timora is good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know of anything? I know I only visited Arbor very briefly.
Sure.
Would I have seen anything that would have given me Shar, Salune, or Lathander in Arbor? Because I also do not believe their crest is associated with any of those three either.
Sure. Yeah, it's not.
It's a fucking tree, right?
It's not
Okay.
associated with any of them.
Okay.
I would say that you, in your travels, probably saw all three of them, but not as frequently as the other two. You might have passed
Okay, and not predominantly.
not
like,
predominantly.
Okay, so what I have seen in the city en route, because I was en route to the capital.
Yep.
What I have seen like places of worship for them.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, but like smaller than the other two for sure.
Okay. Of each of the three of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someday, should we go to Arbor? I've seen temples to some of these other ones here. And if you would like to visit one of Salune, we could, in fact, ideally pass by one.
Yeah, no, I would nod.
Very good. I know that obviously we've met under very strange circumstances, but
Like, look at my outfit.
I do appreciate the kindness that you have shown each of the others, especially Dandelion. She is very new here. And
Yeah, not along.
I hope one day I can return her to her home, wherever or however far away it may be. And I will try to do the same for you and for Twig, as best as I can. Wherever it is you intend to go.
Yeah, I would nod along and, put my hand on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Home's good.
And if there is anything in that journey that I can do for you, I am here. Thank you.
Nod and give a little bow as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would silver gauntlet over my fucking black plate. Yeah, and then I would walk towards the others.
Cool. We will be right back. We're going to take a quick break as I reset up the map, and we'll be back momentarily. Thank you guys very much.
I love that there's sweet tarts on the table for Sarah.
It's part of the map.
Right.
And we're back, everyone. Thank you for waiting patiently. So we return with you guys making your way down this hallway, slowly leading the 50. Or did you leave the
We're going
person
ahead to check if it was safe.
Sure. Yeah, so you guys make your way down this hallway, and you kind of wind your way up and up through the mountain to this very large open room, about 50-foot high ceilings carved out. And the area in front of you as you make your way in, you see that there is a path in front of you. And the area that is open space here on the inside of the walls appears to be glass.
Can we see through it?
So you see a few inches of glass and then more dirt and rock below it. Dirt and rock and sand below.
You're saying the spaces that don't have floor,
Correct.
and you're saying glass like on the side of this hall, or like on the floor.
On the floor.
Is it
Like in the
flush
aquarium
with
when
the...
you walk over.
Yes.
The shark tanks.
Yep.
Is it
So the
flush with
statues are on
floor?
top of it.
Correct. Statues are on top.
Is it flush with the floor? With
Yes.
the path?
It is. So the path itself is not carved out. It is just stone. But the rest of this area is sheer glass that covers this entire rest of this space. You see more of these statues scattered around the room. Directly back in front of you, you see a very tall tree. But this is not an ordinary tree. It appears to be... It's a Christmas tree. Santa's here to give you all of your gifts.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
It's never good when Santa shows up in a D&D campaign.
No, it isn't, John.
So you see, far in the distance, two figures both touching this tree on the side, these two hooded figures, and split up the center of the tree, winding its way up. Half of the tree completely blackened, shadowy, ashy, burnt, with like wisps of smoke coming off of it. And the other half of it is very colorful. Pastel pinks and blues and oranges, all these various colored leaves and vines sticking off of it. And the area directly behind these trees, on the floor and on the wall, you can see this half of it, so my right, your left, is completely blackened and shadowy with little wisps of ash kind of drifting through the space. And the left half has more of these pink and blue and orange vines climbing the walls that seem to like erupt out of the tree slightly into the room and then stop abruptly, as though like the vines had stopped crawling on the one side and the shadow stops. And in the center of this pathway, you see a female figure sitting cross-legged on a circle of stone. She has long crystalline white hair that kind of drifts as if in like anti-gravity behind her. Her eyes are closed. You see pointed elven ears sticking out through her hair. She has very pale grayish skin with just like a tint of blue. And you can see white tattoos lining her face and down her chest of vines that cascade and wrap around her body, descending into her shirt. She has a brown leather corset with large metallic discs that are carved with slightly light blue glowing arcane runes of a large shield and seal of protection, depicting the seal of abjuration magic, the school of abjuration. She has a white shirt covering her arms, but on her crossed arms, you see more of these twisting vine tattoos coming out of her shirt and wrapping around her fingertips. On her shoulders, you see silver pauldrons embossed with flowers. Around her neck on a leather string is a small golden sun with jagged, sharp points, which is the only thing of color on her aside from the brownish corset. And she simply sits there unmoving, her hair floating behind her, arms crossed, eyes closed, breathing slowly.
And I tell what type of elf she is.
I would say that you do not know, but she appears very old.
Not what I was expecting.
This is not outside. This is
Still inside,
still inside.
yes. But there are torches lining the wall, lighting up the space.
Is it well lit?
Yeah, it's fairly well lit.
You said the tree is like actually half and half?
Yeah, it's kind of like back and forth jagged, but definitively one half of
It
this
doesn't ever
doesn't ever
wrap
cross.
around itself across.
Correct.
So it's not like a clean half,
No.
but it is half and half.
Yes.
Does half of it look familiar?
Yes. You would associate the colorful half of that with the Feywild.
That tree looks like home. Well, that side of it.
The person in front of us doesn't seem to notice that we're here.
Nope. She is unmoving.
We should get the others.
Agreed.
I'm gonna step back and start pacing back to find the others.
Sure. Yeah, you make your way down the hallway, and as you make your way down back into the church, you see Marcus and Mr. Pigeon walking in from the back towards this back hall.
There is a living one. Some sort of magic.
Like the bandits, but magical?
I don't think she's a bandit.
Alright.
Dandelion said something about her home, but
Well, that's good news. Did she look familiar?
I didn't come back.
Oh, just you came
Just
back?
came
Oh,
back.
okay. Very good.
But for when that question's asked, no.
Cool.
we should
Yes. They're waiting for
look
us.
into this together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pop on over.
Yeah, you make your way back into the room and see your friend standing
Yeah,
20,
25 feet
25
away.
feet away from this
Sure.
eyes closed woman just sitting cross-legged on the ground.
Very good. Yeah, I would then ask, she look familiar?
No, just that side.
It's a very large tree.
Yes,
It's a very strange tree.
and that side's strange. That side looks normal.
Very colorful side.
Yeah, it's the most normal thing I've seen.
Understood. Yet she does not look familiar.
I don't know who she is. She looks like she's asleep.
Probably best if we don't disturb her. Does she look familiar to anyone?
Is it possible that she is the reason that all of these are encased in stone?
I have no idea. You said glass,
Mm-hmm.
but they are on top of the glass.
Correct.
Below the glass is dirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dirt, sand, stone.
Close to the glass? Like
Mhm.
it's glass right on top of dirt?
Correct. Yeah, there's no space below it.
You know.
The other thing of note is the rocks are not rocks. We just don't have anything to represent it. They are large shards of pink marble that are cracked, and you can see that where they are is about the height that they're cracked at.
Okay.
And you can see that large marble pillars have been like shoved off to the side, sticking out of large holes in the ceiling, as if this was once like a very large pillar that's been fragmented and pushed to the side and kind
Sure.
of sagged out of the hole.
Sure.
But the ceiling is still where it would have been.
Yes.
Doesn't look like it sagged at all when the pillar moved.
No. This doesn't look like a support beam. There, you can see more of these like circular holes that go up as though this pillar went through those holes and up, out.
Gotcha.
Does the shadowy half of the tree look like what has been described or what I have read about the Blightwood?
Not specifically.
Not specifically? Okay.
The figures around the room look like more of the same from previously.
Mm-hmm. Yep, armored figures and the 2 sets of cloaked figures.
All 3 factions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the 2, if we can even tell, the 2 that are at the tree.
You'd be able to tell that they're cloaked for sure. You're not able to see which of the cloaked figures they are. But yes, they are definitely cloaked, not armored, for those 2 that are touching the tree.
Is that one actually a ghost?
No. Neither is the one over there, weird, like, goblin
Ghoul.
thing. Yeah, weird ghoul.
I want to put a foot out and touch the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Just real.
Steppy step.
Yeah, you put your foot out and it feels solid.
Do we see her? Do we see her foot's reflection?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Vampire.
That would have been a very interesting revelation for
Actually, I
her.
think vampires
Been
would
looking for a
reflect
mirror
in
this whole
glass.
time.
To break it.
They wouldn't reflect the mirrors because mirrors are just made of silver.
Silver.
Which is a holy
I
material.
don't know if this is silver glass here. We don't know how this glass was made. Yeah, I mean, I'll step my way through people and begin walking towards this statue-y lady.
Sure. So you make your way towards this. Are all of you moving or just Marcus?
I would
gonna-
move with Marcus, but past the figure towards the tree.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay a step behind him, but close.
Yeah, I mean, I want to look over the sitting person, but I also want to look over the tree. So I guess on my way, I would take a peek at
Sure.
the person.
Twig, where are you going?
I'll follow behind Mr. Pigeon.
Okay.
You said you were going around.
Yeah, around her.
Yeah, so as you guys get to roughly the position you're at, you see her eyes snap open and her arms uncross from her sides, and you can see that she has her eyes are like a cold, icy white color for the pupil, like a silvery blue, very similar to the color of her skin.
Very good.
She kind of looks around at all of you. What brings all of you to the Temple of the Morning Lord?
We were trying to escort some captured people out of the mountains and take them to a safer home.
An honorable deed, then?
You said of the Morning Lord?
Yes. Lathander, the Morning Lord.
That's morning, like daytime morning, right?
Yes, it's a good morning.
I didn't know if it was sad morning.
No. Thankfully it is a kind thing. Yes. This is a very, to me, I suppose you could say, as someone who lived very close here, curious finding in the mountains. I did not know that Lathander had a temple within here.
It has been here a long time. I know not what lies beyond the walls. I have been here.
As a guardian of sorts, ma'am?
Yes, yes, I am the guardian of the Immortal Flower.
Immortal flower.
Yes.
Is that the large tree thing behind you, ma'am?
Sort of. It's part of the tree.
A wonderful blossoming of Lathander, then, as a gift?
It does belong to Lathander, yes, gifted to the Order of Aster.
A-S-T-O-R?
A-S-T-E-R.
Okay.
And Dandelion, I would say that you know the word aster refers to a birth flower.
Birth flower?
Yes.
Would I know what that means, or is it just a kind of flower?
I would say that given the semi-scrambled state of your knowledge, when she says the word aster, you just kind of flicker birth flower in your head. You don't know really the connotation of it, but you just get like a flash of memory of knowing what that is.
Are you a member, then, of the Order of Aster?
No, I am a guardian of this place.
Where then, may I ask, is the Order of Aster? Do you
Around me.
gesture at the statues
Mm-hmm. The
Okay.
armored soldiers.
of Lathander?
Yes.
Are they protecting this place from the other figures?
Yes.
And do you know what has turned these souls to stone?
Divine magic of 3 gods.
As a consequence?
A reaction of sorts.
So their presence in Mass did this, not the things themselves?
In a way, the presence of Lathander's magic combined with that of Shar and Saloon.
But you were blessed to be spared?
Yes, I am the sole survivor. Sitting at the base of the tree guarding the flower.
So I would have continued to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, as I'm passing her, if she would say or do anything.
Yeah, so as you make your way past her towards this tree, she would turn and reach her hand out and attempt to, like, grab your arm. Not forcefully, but just to kind of halt you for a second. And she would say, "Only the pure of heart and soul may pluck the flower of the morning, Lord."
I don't intend to take anything.
You may observe, but I warn you not to touch the tree. Unless you are its guardian.
I won't touch it.
She releases your arm.
Never wanted to touch a tree more in my life.
I will continue towards the tree.
Why do I feel like you shouldn't touch the tree?
Wait a second.
Pure in intention.
You said she doesn't have any color on her?
Yeah, aside
Like
from
a grayish
the
blue.
aside
Like
from
a
this
tree.
like
Just like-
brownish corset and the
Flashback to
gold
me pointing a head in
necklace.
the woods.
Just like Mr. Pigeon?
She has more color than Mr. Pigeon, interestingly enough, with the bluish tint.
Mr. Pigeon, don't touch the tree.
So as you make your way towards this tree, you can see that there is partway up the trunk before these shadowy and fluorescent pastel leaves start. On the trunk of this tree, there's a carved, like, hollowed out section. And inside you see what looks like a storm flower that you have seen before, that Twig has described, and that you have seemingly one of. But it's kind of like ethereal and flickering.
Okay.
And you can see, like, scorch marks in this hole around where this flower is, sprouting up out of the trunk.
I will turn towards Twig as my eyes widen and point to the tree. The flower. Looks like there's one here.
I'm gonna walk up to her, like,
Mhm.
slowly, and pull out my flower that I have and just kind of, like, you know what this is?
And she just kind of, like, slowly looks down at the flower in your hands, or I guess up, because she's still sitting cross-legged. A copy. A falsehood. Wicked.
Are there more?
Copies?
More
Yes.
good ones?
This is the only flower of Lathander on the material plane.
I wanna look at the one in the
Sure.
tree.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you make your way past your friends and past her up to this tree, and again, you see this like carved out, kind of like if you think of like a castle window where it's flat on the bottom and then has the like archway carved in to the tree like that. And you see this flower sticking up out of a small hole in the trunk of the tree that looks very similar to the storm flower that you know, but it is it's missing the it flickers in and out where you see it the entire thing appear a shimmery like blue color, and then it flickers and you see the one that you know that's blackened and has these red reflections and these blue veins, and it just kind of distorts and flickers back and forth between these two, and it doesn't 100% look like it's there. It doesn't look solid. And you have these scorch marks kind of traced around behind it on the inside of the wood.
I'm gonna just like look back at Mr. Pigeon, like I don't know.
I'll strike back.
Just make pigeon.
Yeah,
Release me!
Throw the doll into the tree.
They don't work.
I'll trade you this for the Immortal flower. That's fair, right?
Best I can do is this doll.
Okay.
I'll walk up and look on with you at it. But
I want to touch it. I want it.
You don't touch the thing. It's like, gotta touch it.
And she kind of like senses
The
And-
urge to touch the thing.
and says, "Only the pure of heart and soul may
Nailed
Goddamn time.
may pluck the flower of the morning lord."
May pluck the flower.
Not the Morning Lord's flower.
Get in there, farm boy.
Well,
If anybody's gonna take a flower.
Though the flower sits here no longer,
How do you mean?
it does not reside in this plane for long. It distorts between here and its home in the Feywild. A temple it built to protect itself.
What does it mean to be pure of heart? As far as this flower is concerned?
Many others have come here before, searching for the flower of the Morning Lord, a legend. None of them were pure of heart. I am the guardian awaiting the next who would bond to this flower. One not bound to these walls, not born in these halls.
well,
That none of us were born here, right?
Were
Were you born here?
I was not. I have two questions. Planes, am I familiar with them? And Feywild.
also flucking.
Also fluffing. Is
How do you feel about this
Is that
flower?
fucking fluffing or is that
Definitely not familiar with flucking.
are you fucking kidding me?
You gotta be
What the
fucking
fuck,
kidding
dude?
me. That's fucked up.
yeah, man, get the fuck out of here.
I would say that you know of the planes vaguely.
Okay.
You don't know a lot about them. I would say you know of the existence of the Feywild.
Okay.
And I would say that you also know of the existence of the Shadowfell.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know a lot about them, but you know that they exist. And
Okay.
that they sit sandwiching material plane, essentially.
Well, this makes a lot of sense then. Got it.
We got sandwiching, we got flowers.
As I approach the tree, I'm gonna say to Mr. Pigeon and Twig. Don't touch it, remember? It seems unstable.
I'm gonna ask it what happens if I touch it.
If you are the true guardian of the flower, then you will be bonded to it.
And if I'm not?
You will be consumed like the others.
All these people?
Thank you very much for the $7.77 donation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'll also say at the base of this tree, you see like bits of ash at the foot of the tree.
Bits of ash. Okay.
Is the one side like really spooky?
Yes.
The other side's not spooky. Very the opposite of spooky.
Can I touch the tree?
You may touch the tree, but not the flower.
I want to touch the tree.
Okay.
What side are you touching?
Run over to the tree.
Climb it.
Which side are you touching?
Spooky bad side. Why the fuck? There's no consideration. It's
Yeah.
spooky bad side every time. Are you kidding me?
Both sides of the tree.
Yes! Yes! So much worse! That's so much worse!
Just a true agent of chaos.
Hey, by the way, this is really unstable. Don't touch it. Okay!
So you reach your hands up and just kind of look and scoot past your friends and just jam your hands onto and just kind of like grab a branch on either side of these. And I will tell you that while your left hand, while your right hand touching the familiar side of the tree feels very warm and wholesome, your left hand feels extremely cold and you just get like a wave of... You get waves of sadness followed by happiness as it kind of like radiates down your arm.
That sounds like chaos to me.
And you see your hand begin to lose its color.
I'm gonna yank her back.
So you... Are you releasing this hand?
Yeah.
So you release this hand and you watch in a puff of smoke as Dandelion disappears in front of you.
Like, as I'm grabbing her,
Yes.
just...
And your eyes refocus for a second and you see a little pixie floating around in the air next to the tree. And about 5 seconds go by and Dandelion pops out of the air and lands on the ground next to you.
Are you okay?
Yes. Why would I not be okay? I mean that don't touch that side. This side's good. Not that one. It's cold.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cold, just sad.
And sad, yes, also sad.
Just like home.
Try not to touch it again. No, please. Please. Please.
So as this happens, she just kind of, without looking back at you, just kind of raises one arm. That one is of the Feywild. She may guide you to the temple perhaps someday. Should any of you be the guardian that the flower seeks?
I don't know how to get to any temple.
Are we not in a temple already?
You are in this temple, but the flower protects itself.
Here?
In the Feywild. It resided here long ago. What year is it?
What's a year?
There's so much to learn. I don't know the actual year.
It has to do with how many times the moon changes phases.
Technically not wrong.
So we've seen
I
the...
believe it's 4295.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to know all the moon phases in order to explain a year to Dandelion.
Also a
There's-
moon handshake.
Quadrant 1, pi.
Yes.
There's quadrant 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 3.
There's a lot of
There's the whole
moon
pie. Sometimes
science
it's just
is
quadrant
weird.
2. Lots of moon options.
We'll have to take you to school to learn about the moon.
I've seen the moon.
I just love the thought of you guys shouting back and forth.
You're all
Like 70 feet away.
Right behind you, too.
Like,
He's just shouting right behind you.
The moon! We'll teach you about the moon! No, it's okay!
It's fine.
I'm gonna touch the tree again.
Which side?
The Feywild
Happy
side.
side.
Okay, yeah. You watch as Dandelion again poofs out, and you see a little pixie floating in the air. And as she lets go of the tree, a few seconds go by, and she pops back and hits the ground again.
So you were saying there was another temple.
Yes, in the Feywild,
And what about the other side of the tree?
the shadow fell. There is no temple there.
Why is that here?
Shar and Saloon wished to bring those planes to the material plane for the flower.
And they did not succeed?
They did not. The flower protected itself. The energies of all three froze this place. And I wait for the Guardian to come and relieve me of my duty. One that will not have to remain.
They
Here.
would be able to touch the flower here.
And then they would need to find it in the Feywild. In the temple, should they wish to claim it.
It's a tall ask to possibly just, you know,
What year is it?
that's a good question.
42.95.
I was born in the year 225. Much time has passed, though it feels like not that long.
Well,
Could I have your name? I'm shouting this back. Could I have your name?
Kind of ID.
My name is Heruil Firlote. Heruil.
I'm not even gonna try. It's
Last
so
name
wrong.
is Firlote. And in Elvish, that translates to Guardian of the Immortal Flower.
That's on the nose.
Was that your given name or?
Yes.
Oh, so you were literally born to guard this.
Yes.
Why here if the temple is elsewhere?
This was where the flower resided, protected and gifted to the Order of Vaster by Lathander.
When did it leave? It left to protect itself?
Yes. On the night of the temple fires.
And that was... when?
250. When the war between gods and men began.
well, I would step towards her,
Mhm.
and then, utilize Divine Sense once more.
Mm-hmm.
Celestial Fiend Undead, and then Consecrated or Desecrated Ground, or anything to the spell Hallow.
Mm-hmm. So you would get Celestial, and this is to Hallowed Ground.
Cool.
Or sorry, not Hallowed.
Consecrated?
Consecrated, yes.
And Celestial from her.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would begin to doff my breastplate and my armor.
Sure. Why are all of you here, aside from passing through? You mentioned a flower. You have a copy? Not looking at you, just saying out loud.
My queen, she had a flower, but it's dying. I need this. I need this one.
For your queen?
Yes.
Your queen has a copy. Created from a petal of another flower from the gardens of Lathander in the astral plane. Should you believe yourself the guardian of the flower, you may attempt to grasp it and bond to it. But I warn you, should you do so, your journey will be set in motion, and you will feel its call. To retrieve it,
Or you'll disappear. That's also possible.
If I touch it, how does that help my queen, though? Wouldn't she still die?
the true flower can be gifted. It cannot be taken by force or with malice. You could gift the flower to your queen, and the bond will lead you to it.
I'm gonna look at Mr. Pigeon. I have to do it. I have to.
Boop your nose and cast guidance.
Improve those pure heart rolls.
Yeah, I gotta touch it.
Mm-hmm.
I reach out.
Sure.
And I'm gonna try to
You
touch it.
slowly reach your hand towards this flower, this flickering flower, and reach your hand into the hole within this tree, and you feel a slight chill as your hand kind of passes through and into the flower. And you watch as out of the flower, wrapping around your cat beans and your arms, are these white floral vine tattoos that begin cascading down your arm and begin to slowly cover you. The Guardian has been found. Perhaps the spires of the morning will stand once more.
I would gesture at the fucking, pink marble, which
Mhm.
indicates that. Those spires.
Yes. The spires of Lathander, capped with copper, silver, and gold, gleaming with the reflected glory of dawn's first light, blessing the gardens of Shantea and the valley below, bathing them in golden light in the morning sun.
This is my home. I would say that in Druidic.
Many a good people.
Excuse me?
Uh,
No, that language I know.
she would respond in Druidic.
What? What the fuck just happened? Barn Boy speaks more than one language?
Yeah, she would respond in Druidic.
Mm-hmm.
I have been told a great many people reside there in the gardens.
I would say in Druidic again. No, we've all been burned.
So too has this place. A shadow of its former glory.
I would say in Druidic, we can still grow from ash. And there can be another dawn.
I hope so. Though I will not see it.
So, I'm gonna pull out my trusty holy water and extend to her the water skin.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that if you drink, you may in fact still see it.
She reaches out,
Yeah.
takes it from you, and you watch as some amount of color returns to her skin.
Mm-hmm.
Not fully, but
Mm-hmm.
more so than before. This
Yeah.
will sustain me for a time.
Should you like to find a peaceful view for your own outside of what loveliness this temple may offer, I believe that I can take you to a different home, one that might sustain you for a time so that you can as well share in the beautiful views of the gods of grace. And I will deliver you to them.
That would be wonderful.
I'm going to extend my silver gauntlet out to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gonna reach out her hand and grab yours.
I'm going to pull her up
Mm-hmm.
off the fucking prison-like goddamn seat she's got here.
Mhm.
Her poor old boat.
4,000.
her legs!
4,000
leggies!
No! They're just dust. She literally, you pick her up and she just.
Well, I found my mermaid. Time to go dump her in the well.
Yeah.
Ariel, your leggies!
Yeah, she stands and
She looked fine with standing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. As long
Just
as
like
she's
crackle.
yeah, dude. As long as
No.
she's sure-footed, I would release. But like, if she did look like
No, she looks.
she might be
looks
4,000 done, but I have a title to uphold.
Absolutely, absolutely, you do.
I don't discriminate. Celestial. It's fine. You're mother to this place.
Would you remind us of your title?
Gotta
I'm sorry.
pluck that flower.
I am a hunter of sorts.
Yeah, she stands and seems to have sure footing.
Cool.
And for the first time, turns and kind of looks at the space around her.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No, thank you for guarding all that you have. 4,000 years of service is something that should be rewarded appropriately. And I promise you that I will help you see that. And I hope that someday you may assist me in reforging the lights of Goldview itself.
I hope to do that.
Lathander is renewal, is he not?
He is, though I have not heard his voice in some time or felt his presence. Though I know he is there.
Well, I know why they call them the Bellowing Peaks, and if I need to scale that height for you to call out for him, I will do so.
Perhaps in the future, when it is restored,
Yes,
we can journey there.
yes. For now, I think that this place is fine to be left as is. Do you know if there is a way out from here?
Yes. Another exit behind the tree. There is a cliff, but it can be climbed, or scaled with rope, or a ladder made of rope.
Very good. I have plenty.
Should your people handle the climb?
I hope so. But I will assist each of them in turn.
What does this mean for Twig?
Hopefully some kind of guiding grace to be able to give her a line to tether her towards her goal, and something that we can more appropriately and easily follow for her. Lathander usually gives visions in morning at the dawn. I hope that there is something there for Twig when she awakes.
The tattoos match, correct?
Hers have actually faded away.
Hers have faded?
Yes.
So yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've been taken.
Yeah.
She's gonna turn and walk over towards Twig. Just extend both of her hands towards your cat beans.
Lay the bees.
Red biscuits on her hands.
That thing where cats just claws.
You are bonded now to the flower of the Morning Lord. It will call to you to find it. Your journey may be long and arduous, but it will protect you and grant you the life that you need in order to find it. Beware the copies of these flowers.
Squeeze her hands.
Sure.
Give her a nod.
These other flowers descended from the petal of one of Lathander's flowers, but they are wicked.
What should I do with them?
Destroy them.
Is
You
there a
could-
special way to do that? just burn them.
Guardian lesson right now.
Eat them. But eat them.
Collect them
Make tea.
and purify them in the waters of Lathander in the Temple of the Flower.
Throw them into the mountain.
No.
I'm a fan of what I'm a fan of. It is what it is, you know?
Straight jumping into that fountain after these flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Mark my words.
I'll be right behind you.
Witness me, chat.
I would go back while she's having that conversation and collect my poor pilgrimed people.
Yep.
So as you're going, oh god,
No, you can first. Mine's not important.
I just want to make sure that I cast detect magic in this goddamn room.
Uh-huh.
Nah.
Yep.
It's fine.
It's fine. No problem.
She got abjuration on her still?
Yes, she does.
Abjuration on her. I'm looking at the fucking tree
All
and the
of
marble.
the schools of magic.
All of the schools
All
of
of
magic.
them, yes.
Okay.
Just a big mixture, almost like
you might say a flocking.
a
A
flocking,
flockload.
Yeah, a flockload of magic.
Okay.
You are almost like
Blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light.
Oh my god!
You were just gonna say like it just blows all over your face.
That's what happens when you fluck them.
Eye protective wear on. I'm good.
But for those of us that have astigmatisms and look at lights and see those little
Yeah, the
lines,
flares.
you get like the flares of lights as you cast detect magic off of this tree.
Lens flare.
I'm gonna take off the goggles.
Yeah. The rest of you just see Ren just take off his goggles and start rubbing his eyes.
glad
So I'm
I
gonna touch
walked
the tree again.
Huh?
Touch the tree again.
Yeah, same thing. You poof into a little pixie and float around a little bit and then fall to the ground.
Is there anything?
When I see that, I want to touch that side of the tree too. the
Maybe
pixie
you'll turn
side.
colors.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you touch that side of the tree and you feel a warmth, but for a moment, everything around you kind of goes silent, and you're almost like pulled out of the space that you're in, if that makes sense, like mentally, as if you're like being pulled forward, and you just for a minute around you just see nothing but blackness. And then you kind of blank and you're back where you are and you feel a warmth wash over you.
Okay, I'm gonna touch the other side now.
Welcome home.
So the same thing happens where you get pulled and kind of stretched as if time elongates, and you feel cold. But the same thing where just the sounds of your friends talking just like
Distant echoes.
distant echoes become like like the fucking parents and Charlie Brown just like warbling all the way in the background until they fade to nothingness, and time seems to just stretch out as you just get pulled for an unknown amount of time for both of these, and you blink and snap back.
So like feel like a long like
It feels like a couple minutes.
sure like
Yeah,
time breaks for
yes.
So I guess when I come back I'll like shake my head. And
Yeah, it's
look back
a
around.
weird, semi-unpleasant experience for both sides of this tree.
Yeah, I guess after that I'll glance at Dandelion as I'm like shaking my head and look back around.
Touch the tree again.
Yep, same thing. Little pixie, and she floats around and kind of goes up the tree a little bit and floats back down. And as she gets
Okay.
away from the branches, she
Does
falls back.
is there any effect when she does that to the tree or anything that I can take? Okay.
Nope.
The spot
Did you
where-
want to do something in particular?
I sit on one of the branches.
Sure. Yeah, you see Dandelion fly up, this little pixie, and just sit on the branches and remain a pixie.
She look the same? Just
Yeah, she
small.
looks the same, just smaller. And with wings.
She could probably fit out of that pipe now.
Yep. She definitely could.
Everyone's very big.
I wonder if she could take any of the tree with her.
Maybe.
Literal
Pixie sticks.
Please.
The spot where Twig reached in to become this flower guardian still look the same? Or has that changed since she
It does look the
acquired
same.
guardianship?
It does look the same. It is kind of like pulsing more than it is flickering now. Just kind of like fading in and out, like LED lights that are kind of dimming in and dimming out, more so than like the jagged flickering that was before.
The flower's still there, or like the translucent outline of the
yes.
flower. Nothing changed with that.
No,
Wow.
it's still
I'm gonna
there.
make a little balloon flower and try to gently put it toward the hole.
Okay.
And like I'm not gonna put my hand
Sure.
in, but like you know how like when you like want a balloon to land, so like I'm gonna just try to
balloon flower into the hole.
Make a dexterity check for me, please.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are these balloons magic?
Ooh.
Is there
Yeah, boy.
latex in this?
How about
This universe?
Yes.
Is there what?
Latex.
it's a 21.
Yeah, we decided on like a weird
Goat skin?
animal skin
Okay.
type thing.
not
Now that
gonna
we
address
fully
it.
clarified what it
Made out of
was.
love.
No.
The old foreskin balloons.
Love balloon.
Anything but that.
Yeah, you kind of float it through the air as it just sinks in, and as it touches this area, it fizzles and pops.
No! Cover my mouth.
I don't think it likes fake flowers.
Sacrilege! I'll make another one and gently put it on the ground.
Sure. Yeah, you put it at the base of the tree, and it's. Are you mirroring how the tree looks, or are you mirroring how the flower looks?
The flower. I was
Okay.
just trying to make like a.
Sure.
I guess it's cool the flowers I can make, but I
Yeah.
assume it's just like
Yeah, you make
circular
yeah.
bends.
I'll also ask: are you matching the bluish flower that you get from more of the like solidified version of the flower, or are you making the blackened version as you've seen it?
I guess I would be making it the color
in this list.
of the color of the one I've seen.
Okay, sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I haven't seen the other one in person, so it would be the blackish with the red,
Yep.
whatever the one the fake we look like.
Sure,
It would look
absolutely.
like that if I
I'll also say for those of you that are close to the tree, you can see that the cloaked figure on the Feywild side is a hooded figure with the saloon holy symbol and Shar on the other side.
What was that?
So the two
Saloon on Feywild side.
Oh,
Shore
okay.
on-
There's one. I
Yes.
thought you meant
Yeah.
the Guardian. I was like, wait.
no, they're
There's
both
three of her now.
but
Okay.
you can see that they're both touching the tree like right outside of where the flower is at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
These statues.
Gotcha.
Do I get anything from the stone people or the pink marble? Or pink stone, whatever. I don't remember what you described this as.
For magic, no.
No? Okay. Nothing good.
They're just pretty.
Pretty dead.
Well, fuck. Sorry. Well, flip.
Pluck. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go collect my people.
Yeah, you walk back down into this church and find Matthias, and he looks over to you. A way out?
Yes, thankfully, there is a way for us to escape. There is an object inside of a temple ahead that we must ensure that none of the people touch as they pass by.
Of course.
But there is an exit. It will be a climb. I have some equipment that can assist those who would have a harder time. I can do my best to ensure that they safely make the ascension off the cliff.
Colbane also yells out from like this grouping of people. I've got a rope ladder if that's helpful.
Absolutely. I think with that and the other equipment that I have, we'll be able to make a ideally very speedy journey outside of the mountain.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm going to start, parting the seas and leading our people.
I was gonna say it.
Let my people go.
Matthias, Moses,
Yep,
Marcus,
yep, yep.
we're there.
Oh, I
fine.
looked up Amish names for him. Don't worry. Because I was like, human, I was like, nope, none of these are right. Let's look up Amish names for these farm people.
I thought to myself, does he just carry a rope ladder around with him? And then I thought, he only has one hand.
Yep.
He probably does.
He does. And that is the reasoning.
Yeah, no, I would lead my people back up there.
Is it really hard to climb a rope ladder with one hand? So how
I feel like it would be a hell of a lot. Yeah, you put the arm through.
Okay.
Easier
I feel like it would be a
than
hell of a lot harder to
Yeah, I
climb a
just feel
rope
like you
with
can't
one
do
hand.
either. I can't imagine
It's not
climbing a
great,
ladder with one.
for sure.
Because I had the same thought, but I was like, nah, yeah, you could still, like...
Mm-hmm, sure.
Yeah, no, I would lead my people back up and, begin directing them towards all of my companions at the front and find Harrowil. And I would hold out the warhammer with the sigil of Lathander that I found in the areas down below. This is a blessed piece belonging to Lathander's people.
Yes, to the paladins of the Order of Aster.
I do not wish to be unobservant. I do not yet have a mark of Lathander on my body, but I would like to use this, if that is acceptable in your eyes, as a vessel for him.
You may take it, yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
Put it on my hip.
Yep. Anybody else doing anything?
Warhammers now?
I have a maul and a warhammer.
Okay. Dual wield.
Really big hammer. Slightly smaller hammer.
Still
Come on,
very.
man.
Oh my god.
Just like Hector.
Oh my god.
I'm not doing anything else now.
Okay.
How high up can I fly?
I mean, you can get, if you're on in the tree, you can get all the way up to the ceiling of the tree. Which is, you can get up to the top of the tree, sorry. Which is about 10 feet off the ceiling. So it's 50 foot tall.
What's the top look like? Is it like a pine tree like this? Or it's like conical?
Well, in the sense that the shadowy part is like doesn't have leaves or anything on it, but yeah, it is conical shaped. Yes.
While I am next to her, I do not know if this is something that might interest you. I know that it seems your guardianship here has kept you quite stationary these last 4,000 years.
Yes.
I know that this room is filled with glass. I do not know if you have yet seen yourself in those 4,000 years. Or if you would like to again see and remember who you are.
I have not looked at myself, no.
Yeah, I would take her hand and walk her over to one of the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like beckon down and look at my reflection.
Mm-hmm. She looks down and sees herself different than I remember.
I believe 4,000 years would do that to someone.
Much older, certainly, but the color gone as well. From my hair, my skin.
How did you look before?
It depended on the season. In the fall, it was fiery oranges and reds. Summer, bright yellow. The spring, a radiant green. And the winter, a shimmery white similar to this.
I wonder if your body would readjust if we walked outside. If you were again exposed to the natural world.
Do not know.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Yes.
Yeah, lead her after my people.
Mm-hmm. You three doing anything? Anybody else doing anything before we head out?
I guess as I pass the tree, I would, even though it's blinding, try to look at where the flower is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just all the? I'm assuming still all 8 schools of magic.
Yeah, so in the area of this flower, you actually see the symbols of the schools of magic just kind of rotating around the area of the flower. Whereas the rest of it is just a blinding light. You visibly see what you recognize as the symbols circling this flower.
That's
Weird.
definitely
Very weird.
Uh-huh. I'm just going to take a moment to observe that.
Yep.
When we walked in here, her hair was floating.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still floating?
It would have fallen at the moment Twig touched the flower.
His Twig's fur
His Twig's
floated.
She was really
Static.
I'll leave that up to Twig. Do you want? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you're
Yes.
the fur on your ears and your arms and things around where these tattoos are is just kind of like fluffed up slightly.
Static.
Just a little puffy. Prepped for winter.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's all I needed to know.
Yep.
I'm just really entranced by that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to draw it, but fur.
Mr. Pigeon, anything?
No.
Okay. Twig? Okay. Guys, make your way around this tree and back through this thin hallway that winds up more and then begins to path back down and takes you to a space outside where you can see sunlight shining through. And you walk to the edge and you can see that you're pretty much a sheer cliff. And there's about a 50-foot drop down to a path below that winds down the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pat the tree before I leave.
Okay. Yeah, you
Which side?
fly your way back down and pop out as you land in the hallway and keep on walking.
Okay. Yeah, I got 10 iron spikes with loops,
Mm-hmm.
the height. Start spiking that shit into the ground, hammering it in with my maul.
Yep.
Actually, no, I have a smaller hammer. Hammer that in
Mhm.
and get Colbane to set up his rope ladder on the first 2 spokes.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then I will, with the 50 foot of rope that I've got towards the edge, loop through each fasten,
Mm-hmm.
provide for at least one down. Yeah, I only have the singular set of rope.
Yep. Yeah, that with the ladder is enough to get you down to this path below,
Cool.
Along this sheer cliff face.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You guys making your way out and making your way down?
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
definitively climb first to ensure that it's safe.
Yeah,
'Cause if it
absolutely.
can bear my weight, it can
Yep.
bear anyone else's weight.
Yeah, you make your way on it and get about halfway down, and there's doesn't seem to be any insecurities or anything like that.
Cool. Yeah.
It's very secure.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I would consume my chain, some of my iron spokes, and my rope, and then his rope ladder.
Yep.
And then once I've reached down the bottom, I would, kind kind of wave gesture up to everyone.
Yeah, and you can see as you look up that this hole is almost completely hidden, where you would not be able to see it should there not be
standing.
people there or this ladder going up.
Yep.
It's fairly invisible along the side of the mountain.
Yep. Yeah, I would wave and just stay at the bottom of the, descending rope and rope ladder.
Yep.
And help everybody down one by one.
This way, please. Don't touch the tree, remember? Don't touch...
Keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times.
Please do not touch... Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Very
So
important.
you make your way, everybody makes their way down to the base of the ladder. And when Herul gets to the edge, she beckons to you standing there, and I will go after you.
I insist.
All right. She begins to slowly climb down the ladder.
Uh-huh.
And as the sunlight hits her as she climbs down, you watch as her hair begins to change into this orangey red color. Some color begins to come back to her skin, and her shirt begins to kind of morph slightly with small petals and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And she hits the bottom of the ground and turns, and you see a normal-looking elvish woman that
Hello there.
looks down at her.
Immortal flower indeed.
Marcus the herbalist.
She looks down at her hands, and
I have skin.
this is more what I remember. Not quite, but much closer.
Step in the right direction, and it is only the first day.
Yes. She just kind of looks up and looks around and just closes her eyes and just kind of takes in her surroundings as a single tear begins to roll down her face.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we will end for the evening.
Very good.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Another soul
Very
saved.
cool.
Bernhard.
You're a pixie, not a fairy.
She must go.
Climb back up the rope and burn the tree.
Friends, thank you very much for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you again for the $50 donation and the $7 donation, as well as the bits from Vulpix and the sub from Octane. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it immensely.
Thank
you guys are truly wild, and we really appreciate your support so much. We'll be back next on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the Veiled Forests of Orvigo, and then next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the City of Oshwamp. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you're new here, make sure you follow so you can find us again, and we will see you next time, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.